Hi, and welcome to my channel where I share tips and tricks on optimizing your systems. In this video, I'll be going over the open to close agent portal and we'll dive into the application that open to close has as well. Just so you know, this is a 100% free account provided by your transaction coordinator. So if you are or your TC is with open to close, make sure to reach out to them to get you onto here. So we'll go ahead and start with the sign-in. So your TC should invite you through their paid account. And when they invite you, you'll receive an email and you'll just click into it and those are your credentials. So you will go ahead and copy and paste that into the login page here. Oh, wrong page. And once you log in, it'll just take you straight to your dashboard, which they've already kind of put together for you, or they should have. So I'm just going to, yes, I'll save this. If you do have any login issues, if you don't receive this email, just go ahead and ask your TC for your login. And instead of logging in, you'll just click the forgot password here and it'll allow you to go right in. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right back into the demo account. Now, I'd just like to give you a brief overview of what you're looking at here. So when you first log in, you might want to just go here to the little person icon and go to Profile. Review this and just make sure all of your information is correct. You can put as much as you'd like in here. The security is where you can change your password, change your username. You can make those updates here, and billing is non-existent unless your TC has Stripe, which Stripe integrates with OTC. So if your TC has Stripe, this is where you'll find billing information for getting your TC paid on your transactions. So now that we've kind of gone through that, here are some of our menu items. So you can expand here just to see exactly what they are, and that's the view that we will do for right now. The big one, obviously, is your Properties tab. So in your Properties tab, you've got a few things going here. You've got your filters where you can filter out by a date range instead of having all of these transactions show up. And if you wanted to just see the things that have closed between this date and this date, you would just apply that. And this here would be what this is reading. So we're reading the creation date. So you'll see between the 1st and the 15th of July, this was created. To change it to your closing date, see those things that are closing between those dates, you would just click that there. I don't have anything closing in that range. Let me see if I put anything up from here to here, see if that shows up. Yeah, so now I've got all the transactions that are closing between these dates. So if you wanted to stay focused on just your buyers, you could just do the buyer one. So you can go ahead and filter out looking at just the buyers that their closing dates are between these days. And if you wanted to just look at your pending, you could do that. If you wanted to look at just your listings, you can do that. And your TC can set it up where you can also see your closed transactions, which right now it's not set up that way, but that's where you will find it as well. Your TC might have that in the background already. So you can see active, pending, and closed. You can also request that they show you the terminated. So that's how you can kind of collaborate with your TC to really make this the way that you want it. So we're going to go ahead and clear all filters here to start from scratch, and we're going to dive into these tables and these segments. So you see here, this is a transaction table that, that your TC probably already put together for you. And then within that, there are segments. Segments are just, this is a transaction focused table, let's just say, and segments are smaller tables, or smaller tables based on this bigger one. So if we wanted to add to just see our active listings, we can create a big table for our active listings by putting that client type would probably be seller, but the contract status, more importantly, would be all active transactions. And then we've got our transactions one. So the segments should be already applied by your TC. So if you go ahead, let's go ahead and jump into that transactions table. Give it just a second to think. It was working just fine here a minute ago. I'm just going to do a refresh. Refreshes are great when you're seeing any slowness or anything like that. Just do a quick refresh and it will bring you back to earth here. So okay, so the segments, they should have these built out for you, and I'm just going to dive into the ones that I've got built out in the background. So we've got these three properties here. Here we've got all 5 properties that we have under contract. So if you wanted to go as far as breaking these down even more, you can do for buyer, for seller, and really get specific on what you're seeing here. So for this one, I've got transaction dates. So you'll see here, if you click on the ball of your mouse, you're able to easily scroll back and forth. That's going to really help out when you've got a lot of transactions going on, or you could always come down here and scroll right to left. Now, for all of these transactions, these are our contract dates. So you can check your contract dates segment to see everything that is, just date-wise. I personally work a lot off of a virtual whiteboard, and I use this for my milestones with the agents. So if you click on the milestones one, you'll see all of the milestones associated with your transaction. As you can see here, there are intros, whether the calendar invitations have been sent to you, whether title docs have been received, earnest money has been deposited, and so on and so forth, all the way until the end of the transaction, where we're probably looking at more of commission and closing type things, whether the settlement statement has been approved, or we need to get that, or we've requested it, or we've received it. So these are customized by your TC, so get with them on exactly what certain things mean. For example, I have BA sign. That might not be very clear to you, but buyer agent sign is the way that I translate this. And this is how I keep track of, the commission agreement has been, is missing the buyer agent signature or the seller's agent signature, or we need it, or it's done. Like the commission DA, the disbursement authorization, we either need it, we've received it, we've requested approval from our agent, we need it to update the DA, we've requested the update from your broker. So these are just things that I personally have in mind. So get with your TC on exactly how they've set up, and if you can't really translate something, you might want to get with them, because this is totally customized by them. So now that we've broken down, so this is all of the milestones, and I've gone as far as breaking it down to the pre-inspection milestones. This is just making it a little smaller and more manageable when you're looking at things, whether, this is pre-inspection. So if the intros, the invites, we've received the title docs, earnest money's been deposited, the seller's property disclosure has been signed, received, executed, and then I go on to the pending milestones. These are more of the inspection type things and things that happen right after you pass the inspection period date. And then we'll go on to the special conditions. This is anything that is pretty special to the transaction, whether there is septic or whether there is termite. And you'll notice I have NA for not applicable. Well, radon, home warranty, whether the cooperating agent needs to order it, or if I need to order it, if it's not applicable, or if we're all done with the home warranty. So you'll see here, I have this set up against customizable. So get with your agent, your TC, if you would like them to kind of dive into those milestones and how they show up for you. Now, the financing milestones, this is whether proof of funds has been received, the appraisal, where we are with that, the financing, whether it's been conditionally approved, conditions have been satisfied, whether it's a very new file and the application hasn't even been put in, whether they've sent it to underwriting, not applicable if it's cash, and you'll see here the pre-approval, whether we have that. So the last one here is the closing milestones. This is whether the final walkthrough has been scheduled, the closing's been scheduled, or where we are with it. So you see here whether it's been funded, we've requested things, and then the settlement statement, whether the sign has been ordered down or requested down, whether it is down. And yeah, these are just some of the closing type things. So again, get with your TC on this, and they can really customize a lot of this experience for you. So now that we've gone through a little bit of the basic setup that I usually do with my agents, I'd just like to let you know that you can also customize these yourself. So if there are certain pieces of information that you would like, you can create those tables just like I mentioned. And let's go ahead and dive into the active listing one, which it didn't like me when I was going back and forth here. I'm just going to do a refresh again. There you go, we're in our active listings. So let's just say you'd like to create and start building your own tables and segments. You can go here to segment and create a new one. So let's just say this is for new listings. So you can customize exactly what you're seeing in that table by going over here to table columns. Simply by going to the different tabs, you can completely customize what goes in it. Displayed columns, those are the column headings. So if you wanted the appointment, the listing appointment date, the listing agreement date, the staging date, photo date, sign install date, the trigger live date, and the actual live date, you can completely customize that so that any transaction that is active will show up, the information will show up there. Right now, I don't have any active in my personal account, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to active and pending just so that you can see that it is going to show up exactly how that is. There is an intake form for listings, so as long as you're putting things in, yeah, you can completely customize how this looks for yourself. If you ever want to, basically you're duplicating a table to create a new one, you can just go ahead. So from wherever you are, let's just say you are in the active listings, new listings. If you create a new segment from this specific table, it's going to copy over all of these fields. So if you have like a major one, a base one that you have under active, and you create a new segment under that, it's going to copy over any of those table columns. So listing under contract. Again, it went ahead and duplicated that, and if you wanted to change those, just go into your table columns and you can delete all of these and start putting your listing information in here. So we'll go right back to listing management, and then we'll just say we want to see the live date, any offer dates. We want to see the lockbox location, any property access details, maybe the super shackle code and serial number for quick access, and maybe a combo lockbox. That's good enough. We've got all of these other ones that you could add, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick with those. If you want to reorder them, you could just click here and bring it up to the top. And now you've got that table so that you can quickly go in here and see exactly where you are with each of your transactions. So the next part is the contacts. Much like the Properties tab, the Contacts has tables and segments as well. So if you wanted to create a table for all of your contacts and then get a segment going for all of your buyers or a segment going for all of your title companies, you can do so. You can easily search through here and you can click here for a quick video on how everything works within this. You can sort once you have a lot going. You can sort by the letter in the alphabet. And you can go ahead and add new contacts here. And if you'd like to customize these table columns, I usually just set up my agents on, their email, cell phone number, and office name. So you can customize the way that shows up as well. Totally up to you how you want to view that. And this isn't something that works with your TC system. So you'll be completely fine by really customizing that on your own. Next is the intake forms. So if your TC is having you create or submit your transactions via intake forms, they should have that set up in the background, and you can access this through this little button here. So you would just start your intake form by hitting the Start Form button here, and it's a super easy process. Once you submit it, you'll be able to see the pending submissions, what hasn't been approved and sent over to your property tables yet. So you will submit them here. This is where they'll wait until your TC has processed the intake, and then you'll find the transaction here once they've approved that intake form. This button here is for your API syncs. So if you have 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗇, you probably won't do a lot within this agent portal because the integration with 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗇, you're actually seeing all of these details within 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗇 and your client's contact. So reach out to your TC if you've got anything like 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗇, 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗀, because you're able to go ahead and sync them together. So you're not doing a lot within your agent portal, 𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗇 more so, but when it comes to 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗀, you're actually creating those transactions within your 𝗫𝗫𝗄𝗀, and it's coming in here. If you've got .loop, same thing. It integrates with those with a lot of other ones. So get with your TC on different integrations that will make your life even more easy than the process we've already created within the agent portal. So the next one here, if your TC uses Stripe for payments, this is where you'll go ahead and go for all of that information. I personally don't, so this is what I'm seeing. Don't be alarmed if your TC doesn't and they invoice you a separate way, but if they do, that is where you'll find it. And last, the settings. These really there's not much that you need to do here. This is set up by your TC. There really isn't much to change besides this here and whether you want that how it works button on or off. And again, that's just this button. Oh, where did it go? Right here. And that is it. So here is any notifications that you get, you'll have the notifications show up here. I'm not exactly sure how TCs are using this with their agents. I personally don't. So maybe you can talk to your TC and see if this is something that you should look out for. And I think that's it for the portal access through your computer, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and record one for the app, walk you through exactly what happens in your application. All right, talk soon. All right, so now we'll go through the Open to Close application on your mobile app. So we will go ahead and go to our store. It does work on iPhones and Androids. So you'll just look for Open to Close, and it's this purple button here, that purple icon, and we'll install it. All right, we're installed, so we'll go ahead and open up, and it'll take us to the login page. and it'll bring you right in. So we're looking at the same exact transactions that we were looking at in the web application, but we're going to go ahead and just do a quick tour. So the properties will be here. Your history will be there. You're recently clicked into. You can search for properties by looking here. There you go. And then the settings, which is really just contact us, privacy, terms and conditions, and logging out. So here you can also filter. So if you wanted to see a specific client type, you could do so. If you wanted to see a specific status, and whether you wanted the time frame, if you wanted to sort by date, you're going to pick, I want to see anything closing this week, and you could do that. I'm just going to cancel here, and we're going to hop into this one. So within the transaction, you can access all of the information that you need in one place. So you've got the timeline, you've got all of your dates. You can go into your details, and I personally have my milestones within each one of the sections here. So you'll see the property details just to look at all of that information. And close that. Transaction details for the purchase price, the seller contribution amount, anything that's in that section. The intake details, this is where you'll start seeing those milestones. Title and escrow, seller's disclosure, and I'm just going to jump down to termite. Yep. This will have all the information that you need when it comes to those milestones. Some TCs do go the route and have the milestones all in one place, which they might have it in a specific location. Their fields and sections are going to look very different than mine. Again, 100% customizable. So this is something your TC's already set up. And then you'll go down to the milestones if they did put them all in one section, and you'll see the milestones there. This is the best way and easiest way to really keep track of your transactions on the go. I'm going to go over to the Documents tab. You can see all of the documents that have been uploaded, and you can click to download them, and you can open them one click away, or 2 clicks actually, for me, because I would have to choose where I'd want to open it. So the next one is the contacts. If you wanted the buyer's agent's contact information, the escrow officer's contact information, super easy to get that from this app. Also, an added bonus that I feel like is amazing, you can see the tasks that they have either completed, scheduled tasks, or unscheduled tasks. So the TC does have control over exactly what you have access to here, and usually they just share the completed tasks. There are some internal things that maybe don't need to get to you until they're completed. So we'll just dive into this completed tasks, and you will see the date that they were completed and what the task was. The scheduled ones, you'll see when they're scheduled for, if you do have access to that. So you will, if you're thinking, oh, when are they going to do this, you can look at the scheduled tasks. The unscheduled tasks are a little bit different. They either are contingent on another task being completed, or the date hasn't come up to trigger the tasks to come in. So you'll see those unscheduled tasks here. That's pretty much it with the mobile app. Super easy to use. Obviously, there's not really, much else that you would need. Just going into that transaction and really having all of this information just on your phone while you're out and about. It's a really big way to kind of take control of what you've got going on. Instead of asking your TC for the information, you can always come here to get that information. I hope this video was helpful, and like and subscribe for more tips and tricks on productivity optimization and open to close. I look forward to seeing you around.